Well, we meet again, and I have another slightly chilling-ish tale. Like I said, pretty much all of the really intense stuff I've already covered, but I do still have tales to tell. So, I'm just putting it out there. My name was Tails before this is working. Anyway, um, so my village. I already told you. Um, just a disclaimer, because it's kind of on the spiritual, kind of on the creepy side, a little creepy, spooky, scary, but nothing intense this time around. So, I do not believe. I'm not saying that the ghosts are real, demons are real, and I'm not saying that they're not, but I do believe in energies I cannot comprehend after everything I've been through. If you watch this little mini series, it's up to you if you believe it or not. I do not care. I'm simply recounting my experiences in England, one of the most rich places for history and weird crap. So I already mentioned that I grew up a house row away from a graveyard, but that was to the right of our house. To the left of our house was a giant field. Nothing was really built over there, but there was a large, dilapidated mansion. An old one, if you will. Please don't ask why I grew up in one of the most eerie villages ever, but it was quaint at the same time and homely. But anyway, so the reason I have not really had anything intense with this place is because I never went in it. One, because, we're kids and we're scared and we had all the scary stories and it was very creepy. There was nothing in this field. It's a big empty field with just this falling down mansion. Of course, it's also incredibly dangerous. So we weren't about to go in there even if we wanted to. But it was scary, okay? So it's like one of those like old timey mansions. Like you could tell back in its heyday, like it was really nice. I actually later on somebody redid the mansion and they did a little party in there. It looked really nice and like fancy and like it was so cool. But that they even let us see it because after we'd been living next to it all those years, they invited the whole community in. And that now they have like Dobermans and like ain't nobody going near that place. But anyway, so my memories of growing up next to this house where it would just always be there like ominously on the side. It wasn't on a cliff. Like there was a hill down and then the straight piece, and that's where our village was in a little like there was a hill down into it. And the mansion just stood in this field and it was falling apart, and it always just had this super creepy vibe, but in a cool way. Like, hey, there's this cool ass creepy mansion, and we'd dare each other to go closer to it, and we'd make it like halfway and then wuss out. But one day, we had a decent group of us, and nobody wanted to be a little girl, so we went right up to the house, like right up to the side door. Unfortunately, it was blocked by a bunch of old casino machines for some reason. Obviously, somebody had been using it for storage at some point. Definitely not from the right era. There was also like some boards, and we tried to squeeze by, but I didn't want to go in there anyway. But that's when we decided it was too dangerous and we should turn around. But from what I did see, like it was literally just an old crumbling building. As far as the energy I got, like nothing that said no. It was just more of a scary, creepy, but not like get out kind of vibe. Like I think if we'd been able to explore, we would have been fine kind of feeling, but it would have been like scary as hell. Because, yeah. Anyway, fast forward to when they're about to redo the mansion. My dad is in there. Of course, it's not scary if your dad's there. So we went with him, and I think this time through the front door, or it's like basically just a big gaping hole at this point. Like the front door and everything was still intact, but like inside it was kind of easy to get in because it was like really falling apart. But I remember standing in there and just like it was so apocalyptic. Like everything was obviously all rotted and it was just the skeleton, the shell of a building. But the feeling I got was like it was like a little creepy, but not nearly as creepy as like everything I just built up feeling from watching it the outside. Like it never really bothered me. I could pass it just fine. There was like a little dirt road for tractors out the front of it. And, you know, it never bothered me all that much. It was a little creepy, but, you know, whatever. And just standing in there, it was kind of weird. It was like almost like I could feel like that this was once, you know, a happy place. It was like nothing evil ever. Well, I can't say for sure. I don't know the history. I like literally again never really looked into that mansion, but it was just so weird. It was like standing there in the middle of it finally, and just looking around, going, well, anticlimactic. I don't really know what I was expecting other than a pile of rubble, but it was. I fully expected to go in there being like fully terrified, but like once you stood there, it was just kind of a chill vibe. And like I said, we got invited back later. And everything was done up, and it was like really, really nice. And again, I never got any weird vibes there. So like, creepy haunted mansion, not that creepy. Again, like I said, I've exhausted pretty much every ghost story I have at this point, other than like minor experiences in buildings where it's just like, ooh, scary, ooh. And it's not really worth making an entire video on. So I'm just kind of gonna start describing fun little things in the village I grew up in. How long is this video? It's 6 minutes. I'll just keep going. So, the graveyard, again, I never really got any dark vibes there. Like maybe one or two areas. But for the most part, pretty chill. Again, I never really went there at night. It was an active church, like an old church graveyard, I should say that. And, you know, was manned, so I don't know, maybe they were doing some anti-demon crap there during the, I don't know. It was like one of those places where I'd bike past it. Alright, guys. This was the 90s. People went outside and we went to the park. By the way, that was so apocalyptic to watch too. Like, watching the decline of the park. So, like, you know, we'd go there and there'd be kids there. There'd be like 500 kids. You're all fighting to get on the slide. Fast forward like 5 years and there's barely a child there. That's the creepiest thing that's ever happened. Like, watching the decline of the outside children. But it's just the world we live in. Anyway, the new graveyard, the playground. Just down the road, there's a secondary graveyard, which I think is a little creepier. And I think it's because it was like one of those just like dirt graveyards where it's just like there's headstones and stuff, but like that's about it. Like there's nothing fancy. It's just there. And I didn't know it was there for the longest time. Like honestly. So that was interesting. There was like a little lake by it too, and you couldn't really get into it unless you were a kid because there was like a little hole in the bushes that only kids, like it was like a little den like kids had made, like, and then they just go sit in there and like giggle for like 20 minutes and then leave. Like that one of those. And then you could like they'd actually dug their way through to the little pond, and eventually they made a walkthrough for, you know, adults to go there because it's actually it was kind of nice once they like cleaned it up and made it a little park like. I'm just trying to stick to energies, really, just because that's been kind of the theme of these videos. So, again, next to the graveyard, there was actually a house that did give me creepy vibes, and it was falling apart. At one point, my brother wanted to, like, buy it, and I'm like, this place is creepy as hell. Like, you couldn't get inside very well because it was, like, that dilapidated. But again, it had, like, this weird energy about it that just made me not want to be there. Oh, also across from the mansion, there was a field, and then like this little swampy area, where we built a bridge, and my brother got really mad because I put my foot through it. It was like this was literally made of sticks, bro. And there were like all wasps in them. Like, why do you want to hang out in here, dude? But yeah, that's a fun thing. Other than that, pretty normal village. Nothing else out of the ordinary. Yeah. So that was kind of wanting. Just, I'm not gonna tell you every childhood story of mine. Like, damn, those are my stories. Like, get out. But this is the little village I grew up in. I'm about to go visit it again. Maybe that's why I'm just in the mood to talk about all of this stuff right now. Bit of nostalgia baiting. But like I said, unless I can remember anything particularly creepy, I've pretty much exhausted that well now. So I hope you enjoyed that series. It was so fun to finally get that out there and and then I can just send people there. It's like, hey, you want to hear some cool little ghost stories? Like, I got you. Pray I don't get any more because, oh my god, those were bad enough. Just, it's really weird that I had all that stuff away from my home when like I said, I literally had a graveyard, like, right near me. And I was fine. But I think if I had been on one of those houses that was directly over, like, so, the houses that were directly next to the graveyard were like did not have a backyard. They were literally up against that graveyard. So like imagine there were kids in those houses. So imagine like the way townhouses are built, like the kids' bedrooms are usually in the back. So it's like they would have been overlooking a graveyard. Imagine how horrifying that would be. Oh my god, thank god I grew up in the house that was like one away from that at least. Like, oh hell no. I could only imagine what kind of shit was going on in those houses. But yeah, there's a little backstory on the creepy yet cool village I grew up in. Like, I love that village. It's amazing. It's so cool. It has so much history. Just stuff like that. That's what I like about England. There's so much history. I haven't really had any spooky experiences since I moved to America because everything was built yesterday. Like, this is why I get so reflective on these things now. So, like, at the time, it's like, whatever. Maybe I'm just having a weird, creepy moment. Just my imagination's getting away from me. But then once you, like, get out of England and you kind of reflect and, like, hey, I've not really had that since. Like the scratching sounds, I've been thinking about that too, like that one time in the corner at the cousin's house video. So it was more of a scrape. Like, as I'm thinking about these things, I get like a bit more back. So, like, animal scratches when they're digging, they like scratch and they like run around in the ceiling. You can hear them, right? And I've heard that in the attic of my parents' old workplace. Like, it was an old industrial building, so animals get in there pretty easily and you can hear them scurrying around. And again, it happened to me when I moved to America. We get like a squirrel or something stuck in the roof digging around. But what happened in that house wasn't moving. Like, it was just scrape, 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 scrape. Not like a digging. It was and it didn't move. Like, there were no sound of animal paws, and I think that's what caused me to ask my cousin about it even more. And that's what makes it even more uncanny, and I hate it. But I hope my community and the outside has enjoyed these little videos. If you want to see more vlogs, kind of like this in future, help me come up with some ideas. They're a lot of fun to make. But that's all from me. I hope you all have a good one, and I hope the spooky scaries leave you alone tonight.